Hello, everybody. My name is Matthew Ferris, Ferris Benefit Group. I am an insurance broker and also the founder of Ferris Benefit Group, or I like to call it FBG. And this is a continuation of the series on my YouTube channel. You'll see these videos on Instagram, Facebook as well, maybe even Twitter. And we're just talking about different various topics about health insurance, life insurance, disability. But today we're going to be focused on group insurance. So before we talk about what are the benefits of group insurance, what is actually group insurance? Well, group insurance are benefits, particularly health insurance, that you get through your job. So in some situations, people work for larger companies where they might have thousands of employees. Some people work for smaller companies. In fact, I've helped companies get group insurance all the way down to a two-person company. So that's definitely possible. Now, what I always say is that the American healthcare system is kind of catered to group insurance. And this is because back in, I want to say it's been like 13 years ago now, back in 2010, March 2010, they had the Affordable Care Act. So it kind of changed things that you can get insurance without having group insurance and it be guaranteed issued because there's no medical underwriting. Before that, the best way to get insurance was just having it through a job. And the reason why it's so good because you're dealing with a lot of people and they're pooling their premiums together because everybody's paying maybe somewhere a few $100s a month or maybe even more depending on the kind of group it is, and they're pulling that money together and they're coming to the company with these premiums saying, here, we want a group insurance plan. And every time there's more money involved, there's always more opportunities. And because of this, in the American healthcare system, group insurance is more recognized. So some of the big names you'll see, this to name some, is like Blue Cross, especially here in Texas in the South. You'll also hear of Humana, Aetna, Cigna. I don't know if I'm leaving any out, but these are the major companies you'll see. But there's also other ones that come up that offer group insurance as well. And when you go to the doctor or go to the hospital, they're kind of used to seeing those names and they know how to process it better. One of the other things about group insurance is it does give you access to larger PPO networks. So we'll be talking about different topics. I think we already mentioned ACA in previous videos. We mentioned private healthcare as well. But dealing with those, they're good, but you can find there might be more exclusion limitations with some of them, or there might be more red tape. That's because of the fact that they don't have access to some of the same networks that these larger companies that are offering group insurance have. For example, if you're dealing with like Blue Cross or United Healthcare, they have such large networks with PPOs that literally you'll be hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't take them. And I always talk about this we'll talk about this and about how important networks is, but keep in mind that these companies have to actually negotiate these networks with these big hospitals and providers all over the nation, pharmaceutical companies as well. I said we're going to discuss that in the next video, but having a group insurance plan, especially if you want something that is going to give you access to pretty much every provider you want for the most part, and there not being much red tape and restrictions, a group insurance plan is a great idea. So why would a group insurance plan be beneficial for the employer itself, the people that are hiring people to work at their company to give them benefits? Well, when it comes to hiring people and giving them benefits, it creates loyalty. I have heard of a lot of situations. I've talked to people personally that they stayed on a job they necessarily didn't like because the group insurance benefits were so big or so good. And that's another thing. People don't really understand how expensive health insurance is. In fact, I'll make a whole nother video about that. But usually these companies are paying a minimum of 50%. Now they can go higher than that. Some of these larger corporations pay for the entire family, not just an employee, but also the spouses and dependents as well. And that's kind of rare to find, but at least 50% is what the standard, even a small company would pay for. And because of this, it takes, some of the cost off from the person that's working, and they're able to have health insurance for a semi-reasonable cost. And then, like I said, it helps retain employees because of that. And also, companies can offer a multitude of plans at the same time. So in fact, I always tell people this, especially my clients that have group insurance through FBG. I tell them that you want to have plans like a high-level plan, a mid-level plan, and a low-level plan, because you have people in various situations. I talked to a lady on Friday, and she has a situation where her children have serious health conditions. She really wants access to a large PPO network that has rich benefits with low deductibles, low out-of-pockets, low copays. So that would be something like a platinum or gold plan they would want to have access to. And then you have maybe the younger person, the millennial, Gen Z, that thinks they're invisible, but they might, like I told my story before, I got insurance because I wanted to save money on my taxes. Let's give me something, right? But I did get like a medium range plan, but they might want something with a high deductible, 7,000, 8,000, pretty much catastrophic plan. You want to have that. And then you want something in the middle for the people who don't want to go too high and too low. But this is a great benefit because everybody can get plans that's catered to them based upon what their needs are. So one thing I will highlight is that with companies over 50 employees, they have to have group insurance. So I always tell people this: if you're starting a company, we would love to help you at FBG. But even if you don't have a company or your broker to help you at the company you're working for, you can reach out to FBG. We can do a policy review to help recommend a plan that's going to be good for you in that situation. And the next point on that is actually saying you always want to consider the benefits of a company, not just the salary or the hourly pay, the benefits, because people don't realize how expensive health insurance is. So you might get in a situation where you're changing job. In fact, one of my good friends, he was going to change a job to work for another company. But after talking to me, we realized that because of this situation, he was going to end up paying more money out of pocket altogether because the company he was going to was paying him more money, but the insurance cost more and the benefits wasn't as good. So that's something you always want to consider. And the next thing I would say to wrap up this video, there's a whole lot more things we can talk about, is that companies out there, whether you're big or small, if you have a lazy insurance broker, give me a call. There's so many situations where I run across people that, or companies I talk to, from owners and managers, that they haven't talked to their insurance broker that signed them up on group insurance for the past 1.5, 2 years. They just let them renew, don't even check the market. So what we do in FBG, even when we initially get people started in group insurance plans for the various companies, we always take the time, at least 90 days ahead of time, before the renewal date comes up, to make sure that we shop the market. We look at all the rates, not just the rates from the company you have, but the rates from other companies as well, to make sure you have the best plan in the market. And once again, you can talk to the companies I represent, and you'll find out that I answer my phone. I have my admin, we answer our phone. So if there's any need of assistance, we're going to make sure that to be there, not to help the company itself, but also the employees that have any issues.